Hey, welcome back. Well, I got an issue here with my van. The door handle is broken and I'm having trouble opening the door if I can open it at all. And I've gotten to the point where I can't open it at all. So I got to get in the passenger side now to open the driver's side door. And I watched a few YouTube videos on how they replace door handles, and lo and behold, looky here. Somebody's already replaced this one, and the first hole was a mistake. Second hole was much better. I was tempted to take the door panel off and go that route. If you've watched a few YouTube videos, you'll see people taking the door panel off, and eventually I may take the door panel off for another issue I'm having with the van, but for right now, ouch, I'm going to try and get a hole in there, and I wasn't going to do it except for one thing. You can really get to lubricating this mechanism in here, this door handle, with a hole here on top. I wish General Motors would have put one up here as they did the one down here. So let me get the door open on the other side and go back over there. Alright, got this door open, and you can see the issue right here. My piece is broken right from the handle there. Now, plug is missing over here. A lot of the videos don't show you. You kind of say, well, I'm going to go over here and drill a hole, and people say like 1.25 inches or whatever. And the way you can find that, you can see on the back here, that's a marking for a stud, and then there's another marking for a stud. So if you trace that marking for a stud over to here, you will know that your bolt is somewhere inside if you drill the hole right about here. So I've marked about where I want to put the hole, and like I said before, the bolt is pretty much right across from my finger nail there, so you go across here and it'll be right about there. So the one down here at the bottom, the factory, is like 1 1/8 inches. This is 1.25 inches here. This seems like a very small hole to try and work out of, so I'm going to try and make it a little larger for the one up here if I can. Like I said, I really don't like drilling holes, but with these door handles, as much as they break, and the other side being done is what convinced me. You can really get in to lubricate these really well with a hole here, and then save the door panel for another repair. I drilled a little pilot hole for my hole saw. I don't know if it's going to make its own, but it's a little bigger. I did this because the saw I'm using, the hole saw I'm using, is, I believe, made for wood, but this seems to be soft metal, so we'll find out. Takes the paint off okay. If you use one for metal, it'll work better. Well, if you don't mind sacrificing a wood bit and working and putting some light lubricating oil on it, this is thin metal, so it will work. Let me show you a different angle. Alright, inside here, metal rod that needs to be connected to the new door handle, and right there, ask for a better access point, is the bolt with the nut that has to come off. So I'm going to put some lubricant on that nut and take it off, and then hopefully I won't drop it to the bottom and have to take the door panel off. I put a piece of wood into the door jamb here. I did not want this door closing by accident. So here's the new door handle. This is the way it works. Now I was looking at the one on the inside, and the rod piece that this connects to has to push in this way, And this metal clip here that holds it, to me, seems to be put on backwards. I'm going to take this metal clip off and turn it around, and it should be fine. These nuts can be taken off with this top one with a 10mm wrench that I'm using here. The issue here is that as the nut gets closer to the falling off, that you can lose it down in the bottom of the door. Alright, I put a piece of shop towel down in here. In case this nut falls off, it's not going to go very far and I'll be able to retrieve it with my magnet. Alright, I got it loose enough with my finger just about the point where it's going to fall off very delicately. Took my fingers off of it, stuck the magnet in there, and lo and behold, now for the bottom one. So on the bottom hole, I'm going to put a little piece of paper towel on my socket and see if that nut will stay with the socket when I get it over the thing. So I put a piece of paper towel in my socket to hold the nut, and I also magnetized the screwdriver, slid it in there, and once I knew the nut was loose, I just sort of pulled them both out very delicately. I will say this, that nut is in there still pretty good. So a little piece of paper towel, make sure it's solid, and it's probably the same way this nut is going to go back on. Alright, now to take the handle off. Okay, that arm is in the door latch, held on by a metal piece, and it actually needs to come out of that for this door latch to come out. So I stuck a screwdriver behind it, and you can see I was able to slide the metal piece up, and now I believe I'm going to be able to wiggle that arm free from that piece and pull this handle out, I hope. Well, I put a pair of sutures on the end of it. That should help me. There we go. You can see how I was able to slide that up and out. I was able to get to this from the hole I drilled behind and pry up on it with a screwdriver and push that piece up. Okay, so I held the piece and pushed it into the new handle, and in doing so, scraped the paint right here. Close. So I used the same little paper towel to hold the, in case I dropped the nut, and I also put a piece of paper towel in the little 10mm ratchet wrench that I have here, and I can hold it with my fingers and ratchet it, and it works very well. So I've got the top bolt in enough to where the handle is actually working. Now I'm going to go back in with the other bolt. Excuse me, I'm going to go back in with the other nut. Okay, I believe I got that on there. The latch is working fine. I just have to lubricate it really well now. I'm going to use white lithium spray grease. It's good for metal-to-metal contact. That does feel nice. Well, let's see if it works. How sweet it is. I love the way this works, but I'm not done yet. I've got something else I need to do to it. Let me show you. Now, this is not your ordinary tape. This is some all-weather tape. I know what it looks like, but it's not. It's made by the same company, but this is for extreme weather. So far this has worked out real well for what little pieces I've used it for. You didn't think I was going to leave 2 holes in my door, did you? Now I'm going to go over and do the other side, but you already saw what a mess that was. This side's done. This repair job's done. I'm really happy with it. Until the next video, this is Steve AZ, 711, aka Cars, Trucks, and Detours, or you can go either way on that one. Cars, Trucks, and Detours, aka Steve AZ, 711. Thank you all for subscribing and watching. I'm a little hoarse. I need something to drink. And this is not really that easy of a repair. And you take your time, you should have a good outcome with it. So until the next video, yep, you guessed it. Bye for now. Close. Open. Close. Open. Yeah, this never gets old.